And we're recording. Okay, so it's the last 2 days of October. Super exciting. And today I just wanted to talk about, I've been having a lot of people reach out to me lately of not having, no one wanting to join me. I don't have enough people to talk to in all of this. And this is going to get kind of redundant because I know some of you, or I think all of you really know that one important thing is growing our network. And so if you're watching this recording, I'm just gonna talk about how to grow your network, how to not run out of people to connect with and to invite and follow up with. And so first I'm gonna talk about Facebook and Instagram separately because they're very different platforms and should be treated differently. So for Facebook, if you're a newer coach or if you're a veteran coach, you already know this, but connect with and invite your current friends. So just going through your friends list, making a list of people who you're closer with first, and the other people, starting to like and comment on their stuff, but inviting your closer friends and family first, and then just going through your friends list. Do you have something you can connect them with? Go back and listen to that national wake-up call about peanut butter and jelly inviting. I know Megan Strubble was doing that. I've been doing that, and it just feels way more authentic and genuine. And so by having a little connector piece in those invites, it doesn't feel as salesy or as yucky. And we really do have an incredible opportunity in health and fitness routine to offer people. So I don't think it's icky anyways, but I understand why people do feel icky with inviting people. So go back and watch that national wake-up call of peanut butter and jelly inviting if you have not yet. But so for one, going through your Facebook friends list, you have a large group of people. Even if you only have 200 friends, that's 200 people you can invite to join you. And then growing your network. This is super important. So you're talking with your current friends, but then you also need to continue growing your network, because if you're only working with your current friends or your current followers, you are going to run out of people to connect with and to invite. So adding a bare minimum of 5 new friends every single day on Facebook. And how you do this is if you go to your suggested friends that Facebook suggests for you, and I encourage you, when you're adding new people, to be a creep. Look through their profile and judge, essentially, would I want to be friends with this person in real life? Because all in all, I try to bring coaches on, for me personally, that I think I would be friends with outside of coaching, who I would genuinely want to be friends with. And so take that into consideration, because I don't like to work with people that I don't want to work with. And I think it's really cool that we have the option, kind of. So going through your suggested friends list and creeping a little on them, going through your current friends list and adding people in there. So when I come across my newsfeed of someone who I'm like, I really think I would like to be friends with this person in real life. And so they probably have friends who I would also like to be friends with. And so I'll go through their friends list and add like 5 to 10 people a day. And I'll just write a little note of like, okay, I'm currently in this person's friends list and I ended on the letter M. So the next day I'm going to go back to their friends list and scroll down to the letter N and add more. So that's another way. And the third way on Facebook to add people is to join Facebook groups. So today I'm still in the process of searching weddings in Wisconsin or brides in Wisconsin or some sort of wedding planning Facebook group. One, so I can get wedding planning ideas, and then 2, so I can hopefully build friendships and grow my network in that way. So that's a really great way to build connections before friend requesting people, and then kind of transitions easier. And that way does take longer, but that's the third way. And then on top of that, going off of that, is as you're adding people, you need to have some sort of tracking system for what are you going to do with these people? When are you going to follow up with them? Are you going to add them and then wait a year until you maybe come across them, right? That's kind of silly and kind of a waste of time if you do that. So you need to have some sort of tracking system. And I want to share with you what I started doing. And I think it's simple. It's a little bit of a process getting started, but it's simple. So I use Facebook friends lists, and a lot of you know this already, but if you go on Facebook from a laptop, I don't want to screen share because my computer gets a little wonky and I don't want it to cut out. But if you're on Facebook on a computer, on the left-hand side, you can click on friends list. You might have to expand one of the things to find it. then you can create a friends list. And once you start adding people to it, so say I add Kelsey, Rachel, Scotty, and Megan to my new friends list, and you can title it. So I'll title it My PS Coaches. And then if I want to check in on you guys and keep up to date with what your social media is up to, then I can go to My PS Coaches friends list, and it'll be like this own private news feed of My PS Coaches. And so those people in that friends list are the only people who I'm seeing as I'm scrolling this list, if that makes sense. So what I've been doing is this month of October, I created an October 2018 friends list. And so I add 15 people a day. And of course, not everyone accepts my friend request, but so I add my people every single day. And the next day, I go to my profile on my computer. I do everything from my computer on Facebook. So I go to my profile, I click on friends, and then I click on recently added. And then I hold my cursor over the tab where it says friends. I click on add to new list. And then I can click on October 2018. So I'm adding them to my October friends list. And then next month, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, I will scroll through my October friends list just to start liking and commenting on their stuff and showing up in their newsfeed. And then December is when I will go to that list and I'll invite everyone from that list to join me. So it's like a 2-month process of add, liking and commenting for a month. I'm not doing it every single day, a couple times a week, just to kind of show up in their news feed, and hopefully they'll start seeing some of my posts and maybe they'll reach out to me. But then the following month of December is when I'll come back and I'll click on to see everyone in that list, and then I'll start inviting those people. Does that make sense? Do you guys have any questions about that before I move on?
So Megan, so you're making your friends list for October, and then you don't actually invite them until December? So
Right.
like October, November, you're just like liking and commenting and just getting yourself visual.
Yeah, so I don't do anything. I don't do any like and commenting in this month. I wait until November. So I'm only focusing on one friends list each month. So it's not too overwhelming. And then I have that many people to follow up with, you know what I mean? And so I started doing this 2 or 3 months ago, and it's given me more people to invite. It's given me more people to follow up with, and it's simplified everything instead of like trying to find new people, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, if you guys have any other questions about that, I'm going to put this in our new coach training to kind of simplify things for new coaches with using Facebook. But it's super important to be able to track those people. And for me, that's easier than writing every single person down that I'm adding, because then if they don't accept my friend request, then I have to like go look for them and cross them off. So I am just adding people in there. I add them and I leave them until the next day when I go and I add them into my friends list, if that makes sense. Yeah, if you have any other questions about that, definitely let me know, because I want to make that as painless and simple as possible. And for me, it's just been super simple since I started doing that. And I still go through my friends list to do follow-ups, but then every month, then I have this list of people to newly invite to my next challenge group. Okay. And so that's kind of for Facebook of growing your network. Suggested friends, friends of friends, and groups, and adding a minimum of 5 people every single day so that you're growing your friends list. And then also, as I go through my friends list, I also delete people who either I'm like, I don't even know who this person is, or I've never talked to this guy that I was in 8th grade with or whatever, because you do max out at 5,000 friends on Facebook. So that's my Facebook system. And then, okay, so now Instagram. Instagram's a little more time consuming. It can be a little tricky, but there are ways to simplify it. So number 1 is to make sure that your Instagram is not set to private, because people can't find you then. And then they always have to, for me, if I have to request to follow somebody, I don't even want to follow them. And I know a lot of people think like that too, and they can't see your pictures before following. if you're standing in line and you see a magazine, you can kind of flip through it and then decide if you want to buy it. But if the magazines were all locked up and you couldn't see anything inside, you're like, well, I'm not going to buy this. I don't know what it's all about. I don't want to waste my money, kind of thing. So I want you to think about it like that. So make sure your Instagram profile is not set to private. And then, same thing, start off by connecting with and inviting the people who are following you. So click on followers and go through those people. And then also people who are liking and commenting on your Instagram posts. So starting there. And then also people who watch your stories, because when you're not set to private and you have a business profile on Instagram, you can see who's watching your stories every day. And so to grow your network, ideally you want to be following less than the number of people that are following you. So that's what you want to work towards. Mine was not always like that. It took me a while. And so to do that, you need to search hashtags to find new people. So searching hashtags of things and interests that you like, and scroll through and click on a profile or a photo that pops out at you. And then you can either follow that person, or if they have a fairly large following, then you can go through their followers or their photos and people who have liked their photos, if that makes sense. So you're going to be searching hashtags. And again, this is a timely process. It really is. But if you have an Instagram profile that has a fairly large amount of following, then you can write them down and just go through their followers list and kind of creep like that. So that saves a little time. And then another way, so I do this, I know Rachel does this, I know Kelsey's looking into it. We use Jumper Media, and that's a service that you pay for. It's kind of expensive, I'm not going to lie, but it's a tax write-off, and they grow your following for you. And so I used to spend so much time trying to follow people and then going and unfollowing those who didn't follow me back to keep my following up. And now they do it for me. My following has been growing tremendously. I'm getting good people coming to my Instagram from Canada, from the UK, which is awesome because we are in the UK and everything. And so investing in Jumper Media is another way to grow your following and have more people coming to your page. Or Captivate is an app. You do have to pay for it, but it's significantly less expensive than Jumper Media. And there are YouTube trainings on how to use it. And it is a little hands-on, but it takes way less time than searching hashtags and individually following each person and hoping that they follow you back. And if you do grow your Instagram by either Captivate or doing it on your own without investing in a third party, then you need to make sure and you get an app Cleaner is the app for iPhones that allows you to go in and see people who you're following that are not following you back. So then you can just go unfollow them to help your following go up. Does that make sense? I know for me, it took me a while to kind of wrap my head around it as when I was first getting into Instagram. But just remember that on Instagram, your page looks better if your following is bigger than those who you are following. And then also growing your Instagram, why it's so important to make sure your profile is not private is because you should be using hashtags so that people can find your posts. And I've done a training on hashtags before, but wanting to use hashtags that are like 50,000 or less uses so that your photo doesn't really get piled all the way at the bottom the minute after you post it. You can use up to 30 hashtags. If you do them in the comments section, then your post just looks nicer. Or if you do multiple periods and then your group of hashtags at the very bottom, that's fine too. But people search hashtags. That's what they do on Instagram. So if you have hashtags, then people are able to find you if your account is not set to private. And then if they come and click on your profile and see other things that they like, then you're going to gain more followers that way too. Okay, and then I just wanted, so that's kind of growing your following. And then, as you're doing that, if you have if you do what I do on Facebook, or if you have another way, that's awesome. Nonetheless, you need to be adding people. If you're working on Facebook or if you're on Instagram, then just keep going through your followers list and reaching out to those who like your posts and those who watch your Instagram stories. Again, going back to that National Wake Up Call peanut butter and jelly inviting, it's a great format of like what to say in your invites to not sound like super salesy or pushy or anything. Okay, if you guys have any questions about that, definitely put them in the comments. I'm going to talk a little bit about Instagram updates that I just did a training on. And so it's primarily with Instagram stories. And let's see. So there are, where do I want to start? Okay. So with Instagram stories, new like studies and tests that they've done with like what's working best is to use, first of all, a variety of videos, boomerangs, and standstill photos. So it's not like 100 dashes of like these super duper long videos, because oftentimes if you don't have a huge following, people just swipe on by and not even watch, or tap really quick and not see anything because they see all these dots on the top. So you want to, 5 to 7 stories every day is typically like what it's always kind of been. But then within your stories, having words on there so that if people have their volume off, they can still grasp what it is that you're saying and they can read it. Because I know sometimes when I'm laying in bed at night, I'll go through, and if there's stuff up on a story, I'll read it versus turning the volume on. So I was like, oh yeah, duh, why don't I do that? Also in Instagram stories, using one hashtag, using the Instagram sticker so that people can click on it. And they've found that just using one hashtag has been more effective than having a list of 15 or so hashtags and swiping them off. So using one hashtag with the Instagram sticker that people can do, so they can click on the hashtag and go search that hashtag or whatever. Also in Instagram stories, using the GIFs, however you say it, and the stickers that are available within the app. Instagram wants people to use those. That's why they kind of put them up there. So creating polls, whether it relates to Beachbody or your boot camp, or if it relates to like something that you're just interested in, because as adults and kids, we like to push buttons and everything. I know I vote on a lot of things. I don't know if you guys watch a lot of stories and with polls, but I'm always voting on them. And I like to voice my opinion. People love to give their opinion. So I asked a question one day, do you like your hair curled or do you like it better straightened? I had a ton of people vote on that. Just like random things about Blair or about like Tyler's beard. I did one sometime. My ongoing story about my serial killer neighbors, I did a poll on them, and that one actually got 400 votes. I was really surprised, and it was hilarious. But people want to give their opinion, and having those simple things for people just to tap or swipe or whatever, the more people interact on your story, the higher you guys rank with each other. So if someone interacts in your story, you're also going to show up more in their Instagram feed because you're interacting in the DM. So the more that you can get someone also to not just tap on it, but to start a conversation with you. And the training that I did was with Chalene Johnson. I don't know if any of you follow her, but she did something on these jeans that she found online for $29 only. And so the example that she gave was that she was talking and like kind of showcasing these jeans. She's like, girl, these are only $29, and get this, you get to go a size down in them. They're so comfortable. If you want to know where they're from, just shoot me a DM. And I can imagine everyone was like, well, yeah, tell me where they're from. They're only $29. You get to go down a size and they fit awesome. So she probably got hundreds of messages asking where these are from. And then she created a text shortcut, like we've talked about, to have this little thing populate and say, oh my gosh, these are amazing, blah, 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 this is where they're from. And that bumped her ranking up super high because people were DMing her and they were in her stories and everything. So just to give you an example, if you can make that curiosity marketing, have people asking you questions about anything, you're going to rank higher in the Instagram algorithm. and more people are going to see your posts within your followers and in the Explore page. Okay, and then so her tips, and this obviously is not just for Beachbody coaches. So we had Beachbody tells us that, you know, the top coaches have said like the 5 things that we should post about every day of nutrition, our workouts, your reality TV show, just your typical life, invite people to join you, and maybe it was just 4. I think it's just 4. And so this is hers from like a general overall business standpoint. And her one was something relatable, so nothing to do with your business, just something that you can relate people to you, because the more real they can see that you are in your stories, that's kind of what stories are for, the more they're hopefully going to like you and speed things up in that way. Number 2 is to educate, enlighten, or entertain. So maybe it's like you're motivating people to work out, you have words of wisdom, or you share something from personal development, or you struggled but you got through it kind of thing. Or if your daughter does something stupid and hilarious, that's also entertaining. The 3rd one is dialogue in the DM. So doing that sort of curiosity marketing that people will have to DM you in order to get some sort of response that they're looking for. So being creative with getting people to DM you. Number 4, interaction. So using polls, the hashtag sticker that people can click on, question stickers, people can ask questions, and all of those things. And then number 5 was capture emails. So one thing I'm going to look into starting doing, and I think this is a really good thing for everyone to kind of consider, is starting a newsletter. And when I think about it, I'm like, why have I not done this earlier? And so in November, I'm going to start figuring out how to, first of all, and then put together a newsletter so I can send all of my previous customers any like new programs that are coming out. Like I could have done this with Pumpkin Spice Shakeology, that would have gotten way more people to buy Pumpkin Spice Shakeology, because I wouldn't have had to spend so much time private messaging people. And then any people who like show interest but don't fully like jump in, I can, you know, send them newsletters too about any new promotions that we have going on, because we've already hopefully talked about the information, new sneak peeks that we have going on, you know, things like that. So I'm just, when I think about it, I'm just like, this is such an easy way to just send a mass email out to everyone and invite them to my next boot camp, or, you know, if we do some special of some sort, whatever. So capturing emails was the 5th thing or whatever. And if you guys would like to like collaborate on like putting newsletters together and kind of working together to each create our own, of course, I'd be happy to do some sort of workshop and kind of figure all of that out. A. Weber has a great program. Awesome, Scotty, thank you. I'll definitely look into that. It just seems like such a simple way to get more invites out and repeating customers and everything, which also again helps with Elite. Awesome. Okay, so that's the kind of Instagram update that's going on right now. I encourage you to look into Jumper Media if you I know, like I said, it is an investment, it's a tax write-off, but for me, it's grown my following so much, and I get way more responses on Instagram than I do on Facebook. All of my Success Club points this month are from Instagram, which is super awesome. For the longest time, I was like, I never thought that I was going to grow my Instagram or get customers from it. So I was like, I suck at Instagram. So it takes time to kind of learn and get used to, but it's been paying off so far. Do you guys have any questions? I really hope this helped you to be like, okay, there are millions of people out there. And I was talking to someone today that literally said, what's Beachbody? You guys, there's so many people that don't know what Beachbody is. Yes, there are a lot that do, but there are so many that have never heard of it, and people have never invited them. So you should be the one to invite them. Okay. No questions. Opt in and then it auto sends the newsletters. Wonder if there's a way to create a free report or free ebook and send it them. Yeah, that's something to consider too. I've never really dabbled with like newsletters or anything or email much at all, to be completely honest. But so many people I've heard, like Melanie Mitro and like other top coaches of like get email addresses. And I just like thinking about it, it's just like, duh, why not? Like, just anyways, you can go on. I'm just mad at myself. Okay. I'm like losing my voice. So awesome. That's awesome, Scotty. Yeah, so maybe we can get like a little workshop thing put together and kind of, talk more about that, because I really think it would help everyone. That's awesome, Kels. Kels said, I've been doing an email series to give more info and I have way more traction this month. Yeah, that's really awesome too. Okay, so I forgot last week about coffee and collaborate. So it's completely my fault. So this Saturday, we're going to pick that back up. So if you do have any questions, if you're struggling at any time, anywhere, definitely hop in there. It'll be 9 a.m. on Saturday. Just open it up to work, ask questions, chat about whatever, anything. Awesome. Well, thank you guys then so much for hopping on. I will let you go enjoy your Tuesday evening, and we'll talk to you later. All right. Bye.